Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the eye because not only can I talk our shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Hey y'all, I'm back like I never left or whatever. And I am so happy to be back with y'all lovely people because, 2025, what they say, new year, new me. No, it's like New Year, same me, because this is what I should have been doing last year and the year before and the year before. But I'm just getting back on track. So, New Year, same me, just getting back on track. But yes, y'all, I am back. And like I mentioned last week, if you checked out last week, the very beginning, because some people like to skip through stuff, but the very beginning let you know that moving forward I am going to be doing seasons, y'all. So welcome to season 1. Yay. So this season is going to be all focused on my personal development and self growth, because I have been focused on self a lot, and I know a lot of people is working on self and developing self, whatever that may look like, physically, spiritually, mentally, all that good stuff. So I want to let you all into my journey, and we can relate, we can connect. Y'all can talk y'all shit about what y'all been going through, because I'm going to talk my shit about what I've been going through. Because although I've had some self conversations at the beginning of me doing the podcast and filming episodes and stuff like that, a lot has happened. I started this in 2022. It is 2025. And so a lot has happened. I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of epiphanies, and I have come up with so many different things. So it's only right that I come and update y'all. And then y'all can let me know what y'all have learned about yourselves too on the journey of self, because that's the most important journey, right? Excuse me, y'all. Is the journey of self. You got to learn self in order to be comfortable enough to learn anybody else. So, again, season 1 is about personal development and self growth. Yes. So, this episode is going to be about my self love journey, where I started and where I'm headed. So, if you want to get a gist of like where my beginning started of self-love, go check out episode 8 of my self-love episode, and you can go get like the gist of me talking about how I got into self-love and all this other stuff, because that definitely goes into depth on the more basic side. Now, granted, did I go deep? Of course, I'm always gonna go deep. Y'all know I like to go deep. I'm gonna go deep. But you know, this episode, I'm gonna take a little different. I'm gonna do a little something different, but I'm definitely gonna reference that video because it was a foundation, and I appreciated what I did in that video for myself. And so now I'm gonna let y'all know if I'm still doing those things and the different things I've learned about self-love and stuff like that. So, I love me a good definition. Because people just be throwing out words and don't even know what they mean. So I love a good definition. So the definition of self-love, I'm going to give you two different versions. They're both on Merriam-Webster. So they're, what is it? Reliable, valid, all of those good things, accurate. I don't know. But if you trust Merriam-Webster, whomever they may be, then that's the definition I'm going to give y'all today. So, the definition of self love is an appreciation of one's own worth or virtue. And then the other definition they had on there was proper regard for and attention to one's own happiness or well being. And like in the first episode that I did on self love, it was a wheel, And if you don't know, go check it out. Like, go check it out right now. Like, pause, stop, go check it out, and then come back. But on that wheel, it had different things on there like self acceptance, boundaries, self care, your inner voice, self discovery, and mental health. So by tending to all of those things, not only are you tending to your happiness and well being, but you're also raising your own worth or value, and then you're becoming a virtuous person, right? So, I went over those different things in the first episode on self love, and I gave y'all the breakdown of how I was dealing with those things and what I had learned in 2022 pertaining to those things. But like in today's time, do those things still apply? Yes. But there is some things I want to add to that little circle. Well, there's only really one that comes to mind, and it probably fits within there somewhere. But let's go through the circle, real quick, just so, you know, we can see where I'm at right now. So, I believe I started with mental health first. So, let's go there. My mental health fluctuates, but I honestly am starting to learn that that's not only a human thing, but for women, because of our menstrual cycles, it causes our hormones to fluctuate. So it makes our feelings and moods fluctuate. So I'm starting to learn that it's okay for you to feel good one day, feel like shit the next, not want to talk to a fucking person the next, and want to love on everybody the next too. Like, our bodies are always going through some stuff. So if you need to cuss a bitch out but then hug them in 2.2 seconds after, do it because it's okay. It is okay. But nah, y'all, I'm just playing. But my mental health has really been up and down. Like, I genuinely can tell when I'm not tending to myself because I am more down in the dumps. Like, when I'm not doing the things that are pouring into me, filling me up, making me feel good, I'm down in the dumps. And so when I am doing the things for myself, whether that be going outside to go walk or, making sure I'm hanging out with friends when I can or my family when I can, or, just having a good time at work when I go there, like those things help me to have a mental space that is conducive to a good feeling in general. Now, are you going to feel good all the time? No. And I don't think that anybody expects us to feel 100% like positive all the time. There's days where I'm just like the type of person where I just want to go in a shell and, be to myself. Like, granted, some people don't allow you to stay in that shell. Um, but, sometimes I just need to go in a shell and really just do my own thing. And then when I'm like pour back into myself and really, did something that made me feel good, then I can come back out. Like, and I don't think that's a problem. Like, if you need to shut the fuck down, shut the fuck down. But, if people do ask you what's going on, you can let them know, like, hey, nothing's really going on. I'm just having a me kind of day, and if they can't understand that, that's on them. Like, that's my biggest thing with kind of learning how to be around people is really learning how to be all of yourself around people and figuring out who can handle all of you versus who can't. Because that's when you learn the codependent nature of other people and everything like that. Like, if you have to show up happy as shit all the time around people and you can't ever be, in down in the dumps or whatever the case may be, like that shows how codependent people are on your mood for them to be okay. And that's something for them to work on. That's not your problem to bear because we are not supposed to be happy go lucky every fucking day. It's not realistic. And I wouldn't want nobody to do that. But when I am feeling down, if you ask me what's going on, I'm going to tell you no. Like, not no. Sorry. I'm not going to tell you no. But I'm going to tell you, like, nothing's wrong with me. I just am in a mood where I just want to be to myself. Like, that shouldn't make or break nobody. It shouldn't make you feel no type of way. Like if I tell you that I need some space to myself or some energy to myself, then to me that makes me feel like you don't really care about me if you feel some type of way about that. Like cuz if you needed space or time or whatever to yourself and you communicated that, I'm like, okay, bet. Like and I know you'll come back to me when you want to come back to me. So, I think that, you should be comfortable enough to show up as your happy go lucky self, as well as your melancholy, or not even melancholy, but what is the word? It's like a something where you don't feel anything. I don't know what the word is, but where you don't feel anything, you don't feel good or bad. You just want to be in your own little bubble doing the things that serve you. So, like, for me, if I'm like in a mood where I just don't really care about connecting with people, because connecting with people, that's a lot of energy. When I don't feel like doing that, I just like to turn on some music, get lost in a song, or I'll turn on YouTube or watch a show or do something just for me. And that's it. And then when I'm like, okay, girl, you done spent some time with yourself, you feeling good, you want to pour this out to everybody else, then I go connect with other people. Like when they say, do not give more than your cup overfloweth with, like that's real shit. Sometimes you gotta be in your own little space so you can fill up your cup. And then when you feel that bitch overflowing, then you go out to everybody and you give out that best self. But if you don't have nothing to give that's like overflowing, not even to say that you're like empty, but if your cup is like mid or that bitch could be at the top. If it's not overflowing, then go in your shell, do what you gotta do, and don't come out of there until you're overflowing so that you can go out and give that to everybody else, because people are not entitled to what's in your cup. They get to have what overfloweth from your cup. So my mental health has been up and down, but I don't even think that's a problem anymore. I'm just learning how to go with the ebbs and flows, learning not to let the downs get me super down, and learning to appreciate the ups when I have the ups. Like when I can get up, go outside, walk, and do my yoga or work out or whatever the case may be, eat a meal that I'm supposed to be eating instead of junk or whatever. When I do that, I'm appreciative. But if I need to go get a motherfucking $5 meal deal from McDonald's because I'm craving a damn fry, and I know I'm not supposed to have it, and it's gonna make me nauseous later. Like I'm just gonna enjoy it in the moment, and I know the future self of me is not happy, but hey, like I just needed it. I don't know what to tell you. I just needed it. So you gotta be okay with going with the ebbs and flows and being okay with the ups and downs. So that's been my mental health a lot. It's just been ups and downs. Like one moment I'm really happy, and then the next moment I just need to go in my own little space and pour into me. And then when I can give it all out, I go give it all out. So that's the mental health one. I think the next one was the, I don't know. I'm not gonna go in order. I just know that was the first one. So the next one is the self acceptance. Y'all, I done accepted myself. It's so bad to this point that I don't even know where else to go with it. Like at this point, I'm so okay with every version of me that it sometimes make it hard to even want to get to a whole new place. Like when you're okay with you, it sometimes makes you be like, why do I even need to put in the work for it to be a better self? But then you remember the goals, the dreams, the aspirations that you have, and then you be like, oh, that's why I got to work and evolve and grow and everything, because that person over there, that's a whole different person over there. But I have like the self acceptance is crazy. Like it's something that unless you really embrace it and feel it, you'll never understand what it feels like to really not give a fuck what nobody think. And you only care about what you think and you live your best life that way. Like, it's crazy because, like, when I go to work, because that's the first thing that could come to mind. When I go to work, everybody else is like usually pants, shirt. There's like one other person, like one or two people that may like kind of dress up, but for the most part, they really keep it business casual. Like, but the job for me is a fashion show because I love clothes, right? So what the hell am I supposed to wear? All this stuff I keep buying other than work. Like, where am I supposed to show off the good style that I have other than showing it off at work? So I like to dress up and look nice. And this is like one of the outfits I wore today. But I like to dress up and look nice when I go to work because, like, that's me. And I get a compliment from damn near everybody I walk past. But that's something I do. And I could easily look around me and be like, oh, they don't dress up here. Why am I doing all this? Or whatever. And I'm just like, no, that's not even me. I don't even know how to dress down. I don't even know how to dress down. Like, I've been trying to put that shit on since I was younger. Like, fashion has always been my thing. So if I'm at work majority of the time and we don't have a uniform, why would I not put that shit on? It reminds me of like when you're a kid and you got uniforms versus not having uniforms. If you don't have uniforms at your school, why are you not trying to put that shit on if that's who you are? And if you're not that person, of course you're gonna dress down. But I'm that person that like to put that shit on and not even in an expensive way. Cause I love me a Shein, Fashion Nova. I love me rainbow, a nice cheap little outfit. Cause I we working to make the money. We ain't made the money yet, so I like cheap and nice and affordable. But I'm gonna put that shit on, and you ain't gonna know that it was cheap, nice, or affordable. No, you ain't gonna know it was cheap or affordable. You just gonna know that she got that shit on and she look good. But you gotta really be confident in who you are and really cater to that person. Like, the little kid in me be so happy when I get to dress up because that's what I was doing when I was younger. I love getting a new outfit. I was just talking to my mom the other day and she was like, I girl, you was happy as long as you got a new outfit. Like, you ain't care where the outfit came from as long as it was new. Like, that's all you cared about was that it was new. And that's exactly how I am to this day. Like, baby, as long as the outfit new, I don't give a damn. Like, I love a cute new outfit. That bitch can be $5. As long as it's cute and new, I'm okay with it. So I love being able to show that side of me, regardless of who may think that I'm doing too much or whatever the case may be. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, I'm catering to the little kid in me that thinks that every walkway is my fashion runway. And so, I don't have a dress code at work, so I get to, show out. So, you gotta learn how to really tap into those things that you loved doing in the past. Tap into, what made you you, what made you smile, and be able to bring that to light. And not just from the past, too, because as we grow and evolve, we fall in love with so many different things and we want to do and show so many different aspects of us. Like, don't be scared to show off who you are because you never know what attention or like you're gonna attract. Like, I didn't know that every time I would walk into work I would get a compliment. Damn near every day I get a compliment for something I got on. And that's just off of being me. Not even that I'm looking for any validation because I already told myself I was the shit before I left out the house. So it's not even like I'm looking for somebody to, give that to me. But because I've already instilled that into myself, of course it's gonna come. I done gave it to myself already. So why would it not come to? So, you gotta accept yourself, love every part of you, and make that thrive in front of the people that you so called care about. I gotta be around my work people forever and a day, so I gotta so called care about them at that to a certain degree. Now, is there some people there that I do really care about? Yes, but for the most part, I gotta so called care about some of them. So, I gotta show who I really am. I don't want to hide who I am because people not dressing up or people don't do this or they don't do that, they don't talk this way, they don't act this way. No, I'm gonna show you who I am, and you take it or leave it. Now, is it still some things that I'm gonna put behind a door? Of course, it's working, gotta be professional. But for the most part, you're gonna get Deja Nay. You're gonna get Deja Nay. But as they know Deja, you're gonna get that part. Like, you gotta learn how to accept yourself. And so for me, that's not even a problem that I deal with at this point. Like, I'm even accepting where I have hard times, where I may falter, like the lack of consistency that I have sometimes. And it's not even the lack of consistency, because what I've learned, let's go off track a little. Y'all know I love to go off track because I just be thinking out loud. But I'm starting to learn that every quality that a quote unquote rich person or somebody living their best life or whatever the case may be, every quality that they have, we have it too. I just have noticed that we use the qualities in a way in which is not conducive to us having a prosperous lifestyle or abundant lifestyle or a happy, wealthy, whatever lifestyle. Put the blank positive word in the lifestyle. We use it in a way in which is not really going to be beneficial to us or help us to grow or whatever the case may be. Because I'd say, like, I'm not consistent or disciplined, and I really am. I'm just not consistent or disciplined in a way that's going to be conducive to me getting to a healthier space or a more evolved place, or to the places in which I want to be. Right now, I'll say I'm not that. So I'm like consistent when it comes to waking up, getting on my phone and scrolling every day. I'm very consistent on eating out. Well, I'm not consistent on eating out no more because I'm getting my life. Yeah, I'm getting my life. I'm getting it. But I'm consistent on those things. I literally go by Publix every day just so I can get a cup of ice for my coworker and get me and fill up my Miyoki cup from off of TikTok with ice and water. That's consistent. I'm very disciplined in that. I'm very disciplined in making sure that when my new show for Sisters or whatever show fill in the blank comes out, I'm watching that. It's just I haven't learned how to be those things for other habits. And that's just a matter of transferring those skills to those habits. So I already have the practice of being consistent and disciplined. I just have to now apply that to eating healthier, cleaner, working out, being active, finding a hobby, doing that hobby consistently. I want to get into the content creation outside of just podcasting. So doing that consistently and becoming disciplined about that. So it's just being able to switch out the habit of those negative things, not even negative, but those things that no longer serve you because you have other goals and things you're trying to reach, to things that apply to those goals in order to help you to get there. So in reality, we have everything that we need to thrive. We just use it wrong. And so we end up in a place that we don't want to be. Like, if we really paid attention to that, I think we would look at this stuff as a little bit more easier. Sometimes we think this should be hard, and it's really not hard. It's just you gotta work on replacing the habit with a different habit. And that may be challenging to start out with, but once you get it going, then you're basically doing the same shit. You turn on the TV at the same time so you can do your YouTube workout, and you turn on the music the same time so you can walk outside or whatever the case may be, or do your exercise, or you go to the kitchen and pull out that pot so you can do that versus, going to go get in the car and go drive in the drive through. Like, it's just replacing out those things and reminding yourself that those old habits were good for the place that you were in, but they're not going to be beneficial for the place that you're trying to get to. And so, being able to look at that and stuff like that just helps a little bit. But that was my little tangent to go off on, discipline and consistency. Because I am those things. They're misguided, or they're going in the wrong direction. And now I just got to shoot and aim at a different target with those skills, and then I'll be A-okay. But the next one is boundaries. I'm still quick, fast, and in a hurry to say no. I love no. Y'all, I ain't never thought I could love a word so much. It's so much power in the word no. It is so much power in the word no. Granted, boundaries is just not about no. It's about being able to let somebody know what you will and won't accept, and also letting them know that when they do something that you won't accept, being able to walk away, letting them know that you will lose out on this, or I will take this away, or you won't get this type of thing. So it is more than just saying no. But I'm like really big on that. That has become something that has been really helpful in taking away my people pleasing tendencies, because coming from a mother that doesn't like the word no, I definitely developed those habits as well. But fuck that. You ain't finna take advantage of me unless I want you to. But yes, I definitely love the word no. And I'm working on not letting people think they finna play in my face for too long, because excuse me. You ain't finna play in my face for too long. I can't do that. I don't like games for too long. Games are fun to start off with. They're fun, interesting, exciting. But then when I feel like you playing in my face, so them boundaries they've been lit a little bit. But I also haven't came across too many people that have really rubbed me the wrong way to where my boundaries really need to be enforced. Like the last guy, that was where I really had to cut it, because it was getting to a place that I didn't intend for it to go. It shouldn't have really even started, but it did. And oh well, it was a good experience while it lasted. I'll never say anything bad about anybody that I deal with, because I dealt with them. So if I say something bad about them, that means it's something bad about me. And as we know, I don't like saying bad shit about me. So I would never say nothing bad about nobody I dealt with, but it definitely needed to be cut off. Now, granted, did I backslide when I was under the influence? This is why you should not be under the influence, because you're going to backslide. But while I was under, did I backslide and try to, reach out or whatever? I did. But I didn't get no answer, which was great. I shouldn't have gotten an answer. And now I'm back on track with, just leaving it be, just letting it go, cutting it off, because it was not serving either one of us to be in that situation. So, you know, them boundaries got to be on 1,000. And when people show you that they don't care about your non-negotiables, deuces. Peace out. Self-care, I think that my self-care is still pretty decent. um I definitely am about to start doing some stuff outside. Like, I want to go to the gun range. Like, that's my thing that I think is going to become a hobby of mine, is learning how to shoot, bang bang, pow pow. Yes, shoot them up, shoot them up. But yes, I think that is going to be my one of my hobbies, as well as figuring out some other hobbies that I can do. But that's going to be one. So yeah, can't wait to start that. I can't wait to get a gun. I don't know when I'm gonna get the gun. I ain't gonna hold you, but I can't wait for those things. Self care. I like being able to just watch TV, listen to music. Um, I'll go get my nails and stuff done every now and again because, as you can see, my nails break off in 2.2 seconds. I got these done for Christmas. They broke already. So, like, I really don't do that stuff too often. But when I do, that's nice to be able to have somebody, pamper you and stuff like that. I love massages. So I love going to go get a massage. I actually need to go to a different person because the person I went to for my birthday, she was good, but she was a she. And I need a he. I need you to get deep. And when I tell you that I need you to go in my back, I need you to go in my lower back because my lower back be doing some things, boy. But yes, I need my back tended to, so I need to go get a massage like right now. But self care is definitely A1. It's definitely A1. And then that inner voice. My inner voice, I am starting to uncover some of the deeper things that was like negative for me as I like interact with some things from my past that's like resurfacing but in a different way. So it's been I ain't gonna say it has been a while because I haven't really interacted with too many people, but it probably ain't been that long. But I've always had the thought that my type isn't I'm not my type's type. And that thought came back up for me because, somebody came around that I was attracted to, but they came around for something other than what I thought they came around for. So that thought had came up for me. And it's just like, honestly, who's to say you're not your type's type? Like, you'll never know whose type you is and all this other, whose type you is. That is so ghetto. Sorry. But you'll never know whose type you are. And so that thought had came up for me because we were like on different pages and everything. So, I hadn't realized how deep it was. And granted, do it come out every now and again. That's why I'm like, maybe it came out some time before, but it was even more prevalent, as I dealt with somebody that I was like really physically attracted to, that, we were kind of like on two different pages with how we were interacting with each other. So, that inner voice, it can creep in sometimes, but then you also continue to interact with people too. Like, just because you got rejected on that front don't mean you got to stop interacting with people. And then when you interact with them people even more, then you just be like, okay, do I actually like you as a person? And then you kind of get to figure out, okay, outside of that physical shit, that instinctual animalistic stuff, like, do I like you as a person? Can we connect? Can we vibe? Like, do I like talk to you? Stuff like that. And so it was able to help me to lower that inner voice that as a child would be like, you're not your type's type. Because as a kid, every dude that I was like firstly attracted to was, I'm not going to say they wasn't attracted to me. It's just, we never was able to come together. Granted, we were kids, so we shouldn't have been coming together no way. But, kids be kidding. Kids be kidding. So, of course you want to do the little relationship shit, whatever that looks like as a kid. But, all of my type, I never got to really get with them. So that was a voice that was in my head for a while, that I'm not my type's type, because I would always get shut down by the dudes that I was attracted to. But then it's just like, there's so many different things that go into play when it comes to like relationships and attraction and all this other stuff, that that voice shouldn't make or break like your self-esteem, your self-love and stuff like that. When I was younger, I would have never understood that, but now being a older person, a older woman, young lady, like, I'm understanding that that voice has no merit, because that, like, it's, what is that, your ego? or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it has no merit. There's so many different reasons as to why you and the person, aren't aligned or getting together and everything like that. Like, when we realize that relationships are nothing to play with, you don't just want to jump in that bitch off of physical attraction anyways. Then you start to be like, okay, what else is there here? Then you start to realize, okay, this would have never worked anyways. And then you're just like, okay, that's okay. So like, it's like taking that childlike voice, which, because I feel like that inner child, like that inner voice be like some childish type stuff, taking that and really helping it to grow up, helping to give it a perspective that as a child you wouldn't have had. But this is the beauty of being an adult and learning. You get to really teach yourself that that voice really just needs more perspective. It really needs more, nuance to the situation. It needs to know that there's so many other things out at play when it comes to those different things. Like, I just seen something on TikTok where the lady says she didn't feel cute or attractive because of her 4C hair or whatever the case may be. And it's like, that's that little voice in your head that's like childish, because you're going off of something that is a beauty standard that is whose standard? Like, if you go into, I ain't even gonna say all the way the black community, because we're still learning to love our 4C hair. But if you get around the right people, people love our hair. People want us to wear our hair more. People want us to embrace who we are. And so it's insane to think, and what's even crazier, and not even to, make up shame or anything like that. She was just like, I don't feel pretty as a 4C hair person, but she had a face full of makeup. Like, baby, that ain't got shit to do with your hair. You don't feel beautiful in general. Like, and that's something to work on, to figure out whose standards are you trying to live up to? Whose beauty are you trying to live up to? Like, is the little kid in you that have been feeding you these things, is that little kid hoping you grow it up and let it know, like, hey, you are beautiful? You probably get told you're beautiful by multiple people. Is it from the people that you want to? Maybe not, but are you even putting yourself around those people? Are you interacting with those people? Are you choosing signals? Using my, you know, what is it? I don't even know what term that came from, but are you using your choosing signals with those people? Like, you gotta help grow that voice up, because if you don't help it to grow up, then it's gonna run your life, and then you're going to be doing stuff out of fear and worry and all this insecurity and all this other stuff. Like, that little voice, that inner voice in you that says you're not good enough or whatever the case may be, you got to help grow that voice up. You are responsible for giving that voice perspective. You are responsible for helping that voice to see some things that it wouldn't have been able to see without you. That's your responsibility. So that inner voice is our responsibility, to learn how to help to give yourself perspective, help to give yourself clarity. And then sometimes the shit is what it is, and you gotta help to tell that voice, yeah, you know what, you right. You know what, you right. Like, sometimes it is what it is, but sometimes that little voice is not the most conducive or helpful or beneficial. So why feed into it? There's no point. Like, help to grow that voice up so that, when it does come in with the you're not good enough, you can be like, okay, you're saying this because of what? Okay, what is the facts here? And then you're going to have that conversation with yourself. Okay, I'm not good enough because I have, you know, these tattoos, and a lot of people think tattoos are unprofessional. But what is the field of that I'm actually even trying to go into? If I'm going into content creation, then tattoos don't really matter, because it's a sign of expression. So it's like, you got to start having these conversations with yourself and really start, letting yourself know that, girl, you are okay, or boy, you are okay with whatever the fuck you got going on right now. Like, that voice is there as a protector sometimes, yes, but sometimes it's there because it doesn't know any better. And you got to teach it better. So teach it. And then self discovery. So I believe when I was talking about self discovery, I was talking about how I learned about my attachment style and everything. But what I will say is that I don't think my attachment style is anxious. I think I think that attachment styles waver. So I don't think that you should ever say you are something. Like I was saying I am an anxious attachment. Like no. I have anxious attachment tendencies when I get around certain people. And so like we got to learn to stop identifying with certain things because we are not a lot of these things. But I'm learning that I can have anxious tendencies, but I also can have very avoidant tendencies. So it makes me think I'm somewhere in that disorganized characteristics of uh insecure attachments, depending on who the person is that come into my life. Because like this last guy that I was with, I was very, very avoidant. I ain't gonna hold you. I was ready to shut down and get the fuck ASAP. And I actually found that he had more anxious tendencies and I had more avoidant tendencies. And so like but it was nice to learn about the attachment styles in general. I wouldn't ever prescribe it to myself because it's always wavering. You do want to get to a place where you have more secure tendencies, but being insecure is okay too. People are unstable. They're going to fluctuate and move and all this other stuff. Will people lean more into the avoidant? Most definitely. Will people lean more into the anxious? Most definitely. Will people be disorganized and go from both to both, depending on who's in front of them? Definitely. But can we also get to a place of secureness? Definitely. And I think as you continue to learn how to advocate for yourself and really let people know what's going on with you, have those boundaries and all those good things that we are building in self love, then that's when we'll be able to really lean into those secure tendencies and not waver too much. But I am very much so learning that I waver depending on who I attract because I can shut down, or granted, all of it is shut down because all of the insecure attachments, you're emotionally unavailable for the most part. So I'm like, I can either shut down though and dip out and be like, peace, or I can be overly in your space, taking over, doing too much. Like, it just really just depends. Like, and so I just wanted to clarify that because I know I talked a lot about my attachment style in the first self love video with the self discovery. But, you know, as I've learned and paid attention and everything, is that we waver and you're going to waver depending on who comes in and out of your space. You just hope to get to a secure point. I've learned a lot about me. I'm continuously learning a lot about me, and I love the good and I love the bad. And you know, the quicker you get to the acceptance part of you, the self acceptance part, then you're okay, right? So the quicker you just like, okay, I like to do this, I don't like to do that. I am this way, I'm not this way. I I have the tendency to do this. I don't fuck with that. Like the quicker you can get there, that like and it's I ain't gonna say the quicker rather because it's a journey because you're always gonna be learning something new about yourself, but the quicker you can get to the acceptance part of that is the beautiful thing. So as you start to uncover the different layers of who you are, because we have layers in my donkey voice. Ooh, layers. But the quicker you get to your layers, then you'll be able to accept and figure out what you can work on, what you don't need to work on, what you can tell people you have that you don't plan on changing, or what you're working on changing, or what you do have that you find to be a great benefit to somebody that comes into your space, different things like that. So I'm always learning. I'm constantly learning. And then, the last thing I want to add to that, which it might have, it might can fit in those, pieces of self love, but where I will share a defining moment that shifted my perspective on self love and what I'm really working on in order to attract somebody else to bring their love into my life. And I'm not doing it just for that, but, you know, I'm starting with myself so that I can get to that space of attracting that. And there is working on commitment. So what I'm like learning is that we we are not a committed society for the most part. Like I'm like aware that people have commitment issues, but it's not until you go on this self love journey that you really realize why you can't get in a relationship, because you don't want to commit to yourself, and so ain't nobody else gonna commit to you either. You are emotionally unavailable, so all the people you gonna attract is emotionally unavailable too. We are what we attract and give time and effort and energy to. So, but like honestly, on this self love journey, and what I learned last year towards the middle end, I don't even know, but commitment. Like the biggest epiphany I had when it came to commitment is that I am committed to certain parts, but not committed to certain parts. But then, like, I've realized that my focus has been so on somebody coming in and committing to me and giving me the girlfriend and the ring and all this other stuff, blah, 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 blah. But it's like, you're not even willing to commit to yourself. Y'all, it took me 4 years, 5 years, 4 years to take the GRE. It took me 4 years, and I still, now granted, I did as good as was to be expected, but I still didn't do as good as I know I possibly could have did if I would have committed just a little bit more. But it took me 4 years to do that test, and I've just been pushing it off. By the grace of God, He gonna work everything out because He already ordered our steps, right? But I it took me 4 years to do that test, and when I finally scheduled it and took it, like, although I didn't score the best that I wanted to score, I was so proud of myself. Like, I was so happy that I was able to do the applications I genuinely wanted to do because I took that test. Now, granted, I don't know what's going on with schools. I keep saying I just need one. I just need one of y'all to get it together. But the fact that, that took me 4 years to commit to myself, to really just schedule it and take it. And then the commitment of me being able to sit for 2 weeks and study. Now, granted, was that smartest thing to do? No. I gave myself headaches every damn day, damn near, by trying to cram into like a whole big ass, thick ass book like that big into 2 weeks of studying. My brain was shot. I wouldn't do that again. But the commitment that I had of being able to do that, I already knew that I was a last minute type of person, and not even like a procrastinating way. It's just something about when you know shit about to be due, you take that shit real seriously. Like, and so being able to put a date on the calendar, sit down for 2 weeks and really put some work in and get not a terrible score, like that was like a lot for me. And so I'm just learning to commit to myself little by little by little. So like I put my vision board up on my wall for 2025, and now I got to figure out how to come up with plans so that I can commit to those things that I intended to do for this year. Because by the end of the year, the amount of things that I would have been able to accomplish would make me feel so good just because I set out to do it and I did it. Like, telling yourself you're going to do something and having followed through, that's self-love. Like, that is the epitome of self-love, is follow through. The reason why a lot of us have a hard time with love in general and everything is because a lot of us did not have follow through when we were younger. Like, you may have wanted to do something, but you couldn't because of the circumstances or whatever. Or you might have had a parent say they were coming to get you, but they never came and got you. Like, a lot of us did not have follow through when it came to certain things. Even in discipline, if a parent told you, if you don't do this, you're going to get this, that, and the third, but they never did that shit, they never followed through. And so you were able to get away with shit. Now, as a grown ass person, you just getting away with shit because people don't got follow through. Like, follow through is so important. Like, committing to whatever you say, being able to be reliable on your word, dependable on your word. Like, it's crazy. We can so easily spot out liars and everybody else, not even realizing that we lie to ourselves damn near every second of every day when we say we're going to do something and don't do it. And so I'm working on not being a big ass liar. I might lie sometimes because life be life, and sometimes you're gonna lie. But I'm working on not telling so many lies to myself and not letting myself down and really following through on the things that I want to do. Like, I could have easily took forever to start back this podcast. Like I did the first break. It took me forever to start it back. But I'm like, no, like, you want to do this. You're serious about this. Let's figure out a game plan and let's follow through. And so, is there gonna be hiccups? Just gonna be hiccups. But is a video gonna get out? It's gonna get out because that's my follow through to myself, is getting it out. And then on top of the rest of the things on my vision board is getting that stuff done. Some of the things are really big, so I can't wait to see how that comes into play. But some of the things are manageable. Some of the things are doable. So, really committing to that and really following through. And then once I start to give myself that, there's no way I'm not going to attract that into my space. There's no way I'm not going to attract commitment, not only from a romantic, which I can't wait for that part, but from friendships and, relationships in general around me. I'm going to have way more follow through and commitment because, again, you are what you attract. Period, point blank. And you can only maintain who you are. So you are what you attract, but you can only maintain who you are, which is why some people may maintain toxic shit because you're a toxic person. You can only maintain who you are. So I'm working on maintaining who I want to become. I seen this clip on TikTok where the guy was he was on the Diary of CEO podcast, and he was talking about that which of course a lot of people talk about it, but he's the one that comes to mind. But he was like, you should be setting yourself up for the person in the future. Like, you should be making the person in the future proud of what you're doing today. The way he worded it was like, do things for your today self that your past self, no, yeah, do things for your present self that your past self would be proud of. No, I don't even know how he worded it, y'all. Excuse me. Needless to say, he was saying that, um, like, you're supposed to be proud of your past self. or you're supposed to be happy or grateful for your past self, because you've set yourself up so much for your present self that you are so grateful and gracious of who you were when you did that. So his example was like, every time he has like $100 bill, he'll put it in the pocket of his winter coats that he only takes out during winter time. And then when it gets to winter time and he goes to put his hand in his pocket, now he has $100 that he can use while he's out or whatever the case may be. And then like he's grateful for his past self to set his present self up for success. Like, that's the type of commitment we need. Like, your present self should be so grateful of your past self that you just be happy that you did what you did when you did it. And that's why I think everything works itself out, even the bad things, like the things that you think are like trash or whatever the case may be, they're really not. Like, be grateful for those moments too, because they set you up for what you got going on now. Like, again, I wouldn't have been able to start this podcast had I not had, God number two. And if you don't know about God number two, go start from 1 to 15. No, I mean, it probably really was episode 1 through 15. I don't know. But God number two kind of jump started the jumper cable, jump started everything to really get me into YouTube. Me figuring out, I actually don't mind being on the camera. I actually think I could talk and do this podcast thing. Yeah. So it's like, without my past self going through all of that stuff, my present self would have not had nothing to talk about, would have not known how to navigate this, or would have not been ready for this situation. So, like, if you can find gratitude in everything that your past self did, you set yourself up for greatness. Now, should you just be going doing stupid stuff? Like I said on the other episode, you shouldn't just be out here doing stupid shit just to be like, I got through this and I am this, that, and the third. Like, no. Your present self should definitely be setting your future self up for greatness. But in the event that you don't, there's like graciousness and gratitude that comes with those things as well, because they are all a part of the story. And again, he ordered our steps already, so he already knew what we was gonna do. He already knew what we was gonna do. You just gotta figure out how to make that a part of your story rather it being, a detrimental part of your story, because it's not. You got to make it be beneficial, because that's on you. That's for you to figure out. But everything that I previously went through helped to set me up for the alley hoop for who I am right now and who I get to be in the future. Like, my future self is gonna be so happy that I finally took that motherfucking GRE when I get into a school. Like, she gonna be so happy that I finally took that GRE. It took her 4 years, but she gonna be so happy I took that GRE. So it's like commitment. You gotta commit to yourself. Like, commit to being the best version of yourself, not only for your present self, but for your future self, so that your future self can look back at your past self and be like, yo, I'm grateful for everything that she did, everything that he did to set me up for this layup. Because now I get to just take that bitch and dunk it. Like, and that's the self-love part. Like, it's so beautiful to even just talk about the things that we get to set ourselves up for moving forward, that we get to do and that we get to experience and everything like that. Like, just talking about yourself just makes you feel good. And if you don't feel good talking about yourself, that's a deep dive to figure out like what is going on. Why don't you feel elated to talk about yourself? Because another thing, and I was talking to this patient at my job, and we were talking about this, but then I heard it somewhere else and I was like, yo, I really believe we all come from a conscious mind, or we all be thinking the same thing at once, because it was crazy. Because I don't think I had ever heard it, and I might have could have heard it, but I don't know where I heard it from. But I was talking with this patient, and I was like, "Yo, we already won when we were the first people to get to the egg, and nobody else got to the egg. Everybody else was killed in the vaginal canal, and we got to the egg, and now we're here. That's how you know you're special. And if you don't know you're special, that alone right there lets you know you're special. Because you beat out millions of motherfuckers running to the egg, swimming their ass off to the egg. You beat them out. Like, you got to that egg. You was the one that made it here. They didn't. So that alone should let you know that you're here for a reason, and you're special just off of that alone. Now you gotta embrace that, and you gotta love everything that makes you special. Like, everything. I used to think these were not special until motherfuckers started telling me my lips were suckable and kissable and all types of shit. I mean, like, whatever you may not think is the best or the most attractive or whatever the case may be, baby, somebody like it. And I love it. So, you gotta start like really being like, yo, I was put here for a reason. I am who I am on purpose. And there's no other like way around that. And then you continue to feed that into yourself every day until you really believe that shit, and then you show up like that. Now, your character is gonna definitely conflict with that. Like, if you're an introvert, you're not gonna be, all in people's face with it, but you're gonna be confident that you're not the type of person that want to be around everybody all the time, and you know how to communicate that, and you're okay, and you don't care what nobody else say about that. Like, and then if you're an extrovert, you're okay with being in everybody's face, and you don't care when people say you need to go sit down somewhere. No, bitch, I get my energy from talking to everybody. Like, when you start to learn who you are, what other people got to say is a non-factor. Like, period, point blank. That's self-love. Like, the good, the bad, the ugly, the accepting every part of you and placing it in front of people. Do that mean that you're not willing to change? No, that does not mean you're not willing to change. But that means that the person I am right now, who is in the process of changing, if you don't like them, deuces. Because it is a process to get to a whole new person. Come back around when I'm that person if you need me to be somebody else. Because who I am right now, if you don't like it, that's none of my concern at all. So that's my spiel on self-love, and that's to tie it into 2025 self-love, because yes, that's it. That's all I got for y'all, because you gotta love yourself, because if you don't love yourself, who gonna love you? Like I said, if you don't want to be your own best friend, if you don't want to be your own cheerleader, who gonna want to cheer for you? Who gonna want to be your best friend? You gotta love you first, and then everything else comes. And that's what we're working towards. But yes, so y'all, that is it on my self-love journey, where I started and where I'm headed. I'm headed in a really good direction. I'm just like, right now, I'm just working on commitment, because I do yearn from commitment from other people, especially the romantic side. So I'm like working on the commitment to myself first, and getting in the habit of committing to myself first. And then, it'll come my way. I ain't even gonna have to chase it. It's just gonna come my way. So, that's where I'm headed, is in the commitment space, because although I'm not ready for a relationship, I will be soon. And so I put that on my vision board too, that, this year I will be ready to seriously date and all this other stuff. So I'm just working on me right now and really learning how to commit to myself. But that's the direction in which I'm heading. So, yes. But, you know, I hope that you all enjoyed this episode, because I enjoyed sharing it with you. I definitely am very happy to be back. I love doing this. Like, I love just being able to talk out loud and everything. Most of the time, I'm just in my head, or I'm talking out loud and there's no camera on. And then nobody really gets to enjoy the laughs with me other than me. So I love to be able to share the laughs, share the thoughts, the perspective, and everything like that. Um, I hope that you can reflect on your own self love journey and that you can share with us, how's it going? How is your self love journey going? What do you do to ensure that your self love is up here and not, well, up high and not down low? Like, how are you working to really pour in yourself so that people can get what overflows and not what's in your cup, you know? So put it in the comments, email me, all that good jazz. Let me know because I want to know. But yes, that is what I'm going in with y'all because it's late and I'm ready to lay down. It's been a long day. If you can hear, my voice is shot. My sinuses is terrible because Florida decided to want to get cold all willy nilly. So I'm ready to lay down. So I'm going to end it there. I really love this conversation and I hope it gave a new perspective to the self love episode. Again, go check that out. Episode 8, self love, and then come back and, get the revamped, evolved, updated version. But yes, share your self love journey, tips, tricks, all those good things. And then like, comment, and subscribe because we're trying to grow a family of shit talkers. And I just want a big family of shit talkers because I like talking shit. And I've been told all my life that I like talking shit. So I want a whole bunch of people that like to talk shit too. So definitely like, comment, subscribe. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, go check me out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all that other good stuff because I'm there too. Just check me out everywhere. Just have fun. But yes, so I will bid y'all adieu, and I will definitely check back in with y'all next Wednesday. Again, this is season 1 of the personal development and self growth, or I don't even remember what I said it was called, y'all. Good, y'all know. But this is season 1 of that, episode 1, about my self love journey. Y'all have a good night, evening, day, morning, whenever you're checking this out. And I will tune in with y'all next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. This is Talk Your Shit with Deja, where we drop the I, because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Bye.